Once you finish a section, let me just show you. You can continue to the next section there, or you can just save it. And what it's going to show you is that green check mark that shows you've already completed that section. Okay? At the end, let's look on here so you can kind of just show how to create your style. And like I said, each section is going to be like that, and just fill in your information, and it sets it up for you. For some reason it's not pulling up. Like I told them yesterday, because for some reason here, because I have to have special rights to get into certain websites, it doesn't pull it up. There's 4 or 5 different styles there. If you like lines, you can pick that style. If you don't like lines, or if you want headings differently, you can pick whatever style you like, and then you can even customize it from there. So it's a really easy tool to use for your resume and to create one, especially if you've never had one. Easy tool to start just plugging stuff in, and it does it for you. As far as your cover letter, it doesn't really have templates or anything like that. But what it does have, what it does have, is the capacity for you to just upload or to just start typing your cover letter. Okay? Any questions about this? Yes?
You said it doesn't have templates, so...
It doesn't have templates for cover letter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For resume, yes, but not for cover letter. Really, for the cover letter, because the way a cover letter is set up is business style, it's just paragraphs, they just have you type it in there and save it. I haven't really found any really good ones to load on here that are pre-existing, but what I would say is to look at our website, and in the cover letter reference guide, you'll be able to find different styles of cover letters and different ways that you can put them together. Okay, I can show that to you if you'd like. Okay.
Next question. The templates you have, some are more detailed than others.
Yeah, and that's only because I mean, some industries are going to ask for different things, or maybe in accounting they want to know they definitely want to know your GPA in accounting. They want to know your general GPA, and they want to know your so all of your education, and then just your classes in accounting. So you will put your GPA. But on a psychology template, they might not even have that there because it's not that important. Or they're going to ask for maybe one of your headings is accounting experience or counseling experience, whereas that wouldn't be on a general undergrad resume. Okay.
And I also mean by they also have design, or just something that makes it look more attractive.
Oh yes, there are different ways to design it. That's what the style portion is. So like I said, you can pick the different, out of the 4 or 5 different styles, they have lines, they have different ways of putting your headings on, they have different borders, that kind of stuff. Absolutely. Okay, so let me show you on our website just a couple of things. I'm sorry. It's under resources, resume cover letter guidelines, and other resources. And then you'll just go to cover letter and other job search letters. It gives you an overview of all of our different examples. And we'll start talking about cover letters right now. Does anybody have any questions about resumes or what to put on there or anything? Okay. Yes?
Since I have related experience, I put down one of my neighbors whom I did a job for, and I also have, I made a small company with my dad, and he went with.
Okay.
Is there issues with that?
If you worked there, if you got experience, if you created a company, there shouldn't be an issue with that, having a parent or anything as a reference because you worked for them. You still got skills from them, so that shouldn't be an issue. And I would definitely put those experiences on there and just find transferable skills. Now, because there's not anything directly related to psychology or counseling, that's what your major is, right?
Yes.
Okay. What I would say is to start thinking about doing an internship, or start thinking about like other ways that you can get experience there. Look on campus, look at our counseling center, see, even if it's just an internship helping as an administrative assistant or something. Maybe they can give you some, some experience shadowing or something like that. Figure out anything you can to get a little bit of that experience, volunteer somewhere. But otherwise, it's okay to include those two past jobs that you've had or current jobs that you've had. There's nothing wrong with that. What I would also suggest is that you create a relevant coursework section. Because if you're applying for an internship, at least they'll be able to see that maybe I don't have a lot of work experience in this industry, but I do have theory. I know what's going on right now. Okay? Okay. So who has created a cover letter before? Anybody? Okay, good. Was it difficult?
Yes.
No?
For me, no.
Okay. It was difficult for me. Tell me why it was difficult for you.
Well, I have a really hard time writing anything
Okay.
in general, and
Okay.
the fact that a cover letter is supposed to be specific to the position that you're applying for. I guess like writing a new one every time it's a new position, I think that's like the hardest part.
Okay, which definitely is a good point. She was saying that the hardest part for her is to have to tailor it, right? To find, that every cover letter should be specific to the job that you're applying for, or at least the industry, because we can always tweak a couple other things. But for her, you're going into counseling, right? Okay, so counseling, that's an industry, okay. There's going to be specific types of counseling that she might do, and we can make it pretty kind of general for counseling, but we're going to change the job title and the company that she's applying for, right? So that's always going to change. Absolutely. It is difficult to create a cover letter. One, you have to figure out, what do I include on there? What do I talk about? You don't want to reiterate your resume. So it's not writing about your resume. It's expanding on it. It's giving them a reason to look at your resume, because that's usually the first thing that goes in your documents that you turn in, a cover letter. So this is where you want to tell them a little bit about yourself. This is where you have more freedom to expand on information, because remember, in your resume, we're only using short bulleted statements. These are going to be paragraphs that expand on what you're doing. Absolutely, yes, you should have a cover letter. I think you should have a cover letter for every job, except, of course, if you're applying for maybe retail or something like that, it's probably not as effective. But if you're applying for something like an internship or anything like that that's directly related to your career you're going into, you should have a cover letter. And you should make it really interesting so that the employer, really wants to look at your resume. Not only that it's interesting, but I'm like, whoa, I wonder where they did this stuff. Where did they do this stuff? I'm going to look at the resume to look where they actually received this kind of experience. 2/3 of applicants submit a cover letter with a resume. So 28% of employers only sometimes consider their resume a resume without a cover letter. You never want to submit to a job or an internship or anything like that and find out that you didn't, out of 10 people, 7 people included a cover letter and you were one of the 3 that didn't. Otherwise, you can even turn it around. If you're one of the 3 that did, and there's another group that didn't, that makes you look better. It makes you look like you've done a little bit more, gone over the edge a little bit more, because you really are interested in this position. 2% of employers never consider a resume without a cover letter, and you don't want to send your information to somebody and they're part of that 2% and you didn't include it. And then 95% of organizations read through cover letters and actually keep them on file. What is a cover letter? Well, it introduces your resume. It personalizes it. It tells us a little bit more about you, about your experience, about a specific thing. It shows that you've done research. It shows that you've researched the company. And that's something that's going to be really important to me. Because not only are you telling me all the great things about yourself, but you're also telling me why I want to hire you. What are you going to do for me as an employer? That's what you can do in a cover letter. Motivates the employer to read your resume. It's a tailored sales tool, just like your resume. It demonstrates your interest in the position and the company, meaning it shows that you actually really want this position. It shows that you did research on it. You're showing how you make a good fit in this position or with this company. Showcases written communication skills. It shows how you write. It shows me that, you know, if part of your job is writing or communicating with the public, it shows me that you're really effective at that. And it exhibits what you can offer to the employer. Like I said, it's all about, go ahead. It's all about the employers. They're very like me-centered. What are you going to do for me? Especially in this job market, when I can pick from 500 people, when maybe a few years ago, maybe only 15 people applied. Now I can pick from 500, 200. So I'm going to pick the ones that I'm the most impressed with. Cover letter components. Of course, your information on the tops of your header. Make sure everything is the same as your resume. Whatever you do to your resume, whatever font you use the same on your cover letter. The date of the letter. So you can put the date that you're sending it, that you want it to get there, that you think it should get there, whatever date you want. Employer's contact information and title. This is where it shows what kind of research you've done. So, okay, how many people have applied for a job before and there was a contact person's name on the job description? Anybody? I know I have. Okay, and a lot of times you're not going to find a specific person. But if you know that you're applying for a job at University of La Verne and it's actually for a position in career services, I bet you if you went on the internet, looked at career services website, you can find out the director's name. So just a little bit, a couple clicks, and you find out who you're directly sending this letter to, and you know that you can address it to that person. That shows me that you really are interested in this position. You looked for my name. If you can't, if you've done everything you can't find a specific person, that's okay. You're sending it to human resources. Human resources. Hiring manager, hiring committee. These are all different ways that you can start your letter without having to say to whom it may concern. Okay? Because that's too general. Company name, of course, their address. Dear Ms. Verdugo, she's the director of career services. Okay, Ms., because I'm not going to assume yes or no that she is married. I'm going to say Ms. because it's neutral. Now, if it was Mr. Verdugo, I would say Mr. Verdugo. If I don't know, I would say director of career services or human resources manager or hiring committee, whatever. Opening paragraph, you want to make the case. Tell me what are you sending this information to me for? Well, because probably you're applying for an internship at University of La Verne's Career Services. Or maybe you're applying for a sales position at Starbucks, whatever. Tell me what it is. So tell me the job title and the position you're applying for, and then the company. Middle paragraph or middle two paragraphs, it's going to be you making the match. Make the match between your experience, your education, anything you want to highlight, and what the employer is looking for. So, you know, what do you want to tell them about? Do you want to tell them about a specific project you did in class that's going to be really helpful to them in their company? Do you want to tell them about a specific experience? Like, really elaborate on it. Or are you going to tell me a little bit more information? Did you find 4 things that you have that you match with their job description? Tell us those. And then closing paragraph, of course, you're just going to close it. Signature line. You're going to have sincerely and your signature at the bottom. How many people actually know how to, the format or the style that you're supposed to set up a cover letter like? Anybody answer that question for me?